Hello, my name is Joseph Turner. This is my submission for technology project number 1, and the person I'm choosing to interview today is Crazy Horse. This is the same Crazy Horse where they're building the monument for in Custer State Park. This monument is supposed to be considerably larger than that of Mount Rushmore, and it's supposed to be one of the 8 wonders of the world, and it is of Crazy Horse riding a horse, and I have been there or attended this monument, and it looks pretty cool. So I'll ask my first question. Crazy Horse, can you tell us how or why you received your name? Crazy Horse was born to parents from 2 bands of the Lakota division of the Sioux. There's some debate over when he was born, sometime between 1840 1845. So they really don't know. Most people think 1840. But he also had a nickname because he had light curly hair, so his nickname was Curly. So the next question I'm going to ask is, where do you live? So Crazy Horse lived in the Lakota camp, which is now present-day Wyoming, with his younger half-brother, Little Hawk, and Little Hawk was the nephew of his maternal step-grandfather. So they all kind of live in one community. The grandfather is one of the elders, and the younger you are, the less superior you are, the less power you have, in a sense. So the first major event that Crazy Horse is a part of is the Grattan Massacre. So I'll ask the question, Crazy Horse, can you tell us a little about the Grattan Massacre? So in 1854, this camp was, Crazy Horse's camp was entered by Lieutenant John Lawrence Grattan and 29 other U.S. troopers who intended to arrest one of the Indians for stealing a cow which had wandered into the encampment. And then someone took a knife to it and they all ate it. So the soldiers were upset about that. So the soldiers approached the chief and they eventually shot the chief, which stirred up the Lakota, and just returning fire, killing all 30 soldiers and the civilian interpreter. So this was called the Grattan Massacre, and Crazy Horse witnessed all these events. This is one of his first run-ins with a white man in this capacity. So after this, he begins to see visions, he has dreams. So I'm going to ask the question, Crazy Horse, can you describe your visions? So Curly's father later interpreted the vision so I'll just basically describe it. Crazy Horse begins to see a warrior. He's charging through bullets and arrows, and nothing seems to be hurting him. He's basically invincible. And what he notices is that he's wearing like a shirt, or he's like covered. And he's got his war paint on and everything, but he's still covered. He's dressed modestly. And so the warrior comes to him and tells him that if he's dressed modestly or wears a shirt in a battle, that he will be uninjured. And Curly Horse gets in a lot of different little battles over here and there. And for the most part, he remains uninjured, surprisingly. He was struck in by an arrow after taking 2 enemy scalps. And later in his life, he was shot in the face, but he lived through that because the shot did not enter his brain. Yes, he lives out the rest of his fighting career, dressed modestly in battle, because he believes that will protect him. So next question I'm going to ask is, can you tell us about your greatest victory against the U.S. Army? So on December 21st, 1866, Crazy Horse and 6 other warriors, both Lakota and Cheyenne, they were trying to attack the white men. Captain Will Fetterman's, he has 53 infantrymen and 27 cavalry troops under Lieutenant Grummond into an ambush. So they basically set them up. So basically they approach the soldiers, they draw them up onto a hill, and they have some Indian women mocking the soldiers and distracting them. While Crazy Horse, they all prepare for an ambush, and they basically, the combined warrior forces killed nearly 1,000 U.S. soldiers in what became known as the time the white population was defeated greatly in the Fetterman's Massacre. It was the Army's worst defeat on the Great Plains up to the time. And the Lakota and Cheyenne call it the Battle of the Hundred in the Hand. So that was a little event that went down for Crazy Horse and his fellow soldiers. So next question I'm going to ask, I'll just carry on to say that Crazy Horse had a bunch of run-ins. He never really was injured. He was a nuisance under the white man. He killed many in retaliation for what they did to, or what they were doing to their people. So there were, in a sense, a bit of a war going on. So the next question I'm going to ask is, can you tell us a little about the affair that you had? So basically, it wasn't quite an affair, but in a sense, it was. So in the fall of 1870, Crazy Horse invited black buffalo women to accompany him on a buffalo hunt, which I guess is the equivalent of asking someone out for Indian culture. However, she was the wife of No Water, but in Indian culture, you had the ability to, the wife had the ability to break off the marriage whenever she wanted, but she didn't do it officially this time, so she broke off the marriage, and the hurting husband was kind of a bit upset with him. So as black buffalo women and Crazy Horse went out on their buffalo hunt, they set their teepee, and they had a few other people there. No Water tracked down their encampment and found them and another group in a teepee. So he called out Crazy Horse's name, and Crazy Horse answered. So he went behind Crazy Horse and pointed the pistol at him, and was distracted by Crazy Horse's friend, Touch the Clouds, or his first cousin. His first cousin knocked the pistol, but it still went off and shot Crazy Horse in the jaw. However, Crazy Horse found a way to survive this incident. However, him going out with this girl, even though she was still technically married, was frowned upon by the elders. So they ended up taking away his Crazy Horse had the status of being sure to wear, and that was basically the people calling him a leader. So he has leadership, in a sense, stripped away. But otherwise, Crazy Horse was a very good person. He was a shy person, kind of held back, but super generous. And he definitely was a nuisance for the U.S. Army as they kind of conquested through the Indian lands. So this is my interview, or this is going to wrap up my interview with Crazy Horse. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.